Morning, everyone. It's Sunday, July 31st, so officially start a new section of the house or a new step and almost time it perfectly with a new month starting August 1st. So what we'll do today is, I think I've told you before, sorry, the sun is just rising up over that mountain. There's a beam going up there. It's being delivered tomorrow, 6 feet in from that corner, and it's going to stretch that whole 40 feet behind me. So we're going to prep that. We got some posts to make. There's 2 posts that'll be in the interior of the house. Otherwise, everything else is going to be opened up, and the beam will lay right on 6 feet in, maybe right about there, and then back at the other side. So we're going to start that. Got to lay some lines and where those posts are going to go. So we'll prep for this beam today, and then probably for the second floor loft, the other thing that we got to do is this rim joist right here. That's a 2x10. We got to put one up on this side. The floor will be hooked to the beam. On that back side over that wall right there, we got to put this rim joist, and then those will 2x10s will cross over in the back 14 feet of the house back there and create the loft at the one end of the house. So we got to prep that, so maybe we'll even get that done today. So we'll see. All right, guys, I'm up on a ladder up on the wall here, and we're laying out our string right here. So that represents 6 feet out from the outside wall. So what we're going to do is do 3 2x6s in this space, frame that, and the beam will sit here. It'll be then all the way down, the weight will be distributed with those 3 beams. They call it a stud pack, and it'll go down to the bottom plate down there, which sits on the concrete wall, so that disperses the weight correctly that way. And then I'll go back down to the other end now, where Shannon's laying out some string, and I'll climb up there and measure 6 feet out. And then we're going to hang this string in real tight like we did with the other beam that I showed you, and put that line, that level thing, and make sure it's level. Then we can drop a string down, a plumb bob they call it. It's a weighted string, and it'll show us where on the floor the 2 posts in the house will go. So, and then we'll set those up. And then in the basement, I got a 2 footers poured that supposedly are going to be, if my measurements are correct, will be sit underneath the post in the basement and disperse that weight for these 2 posts that go in the house, and have those sitting on those concrete pads in the basement. So the weight will be distributed that way. So nothing's leaning. Basically, this beam's going to weigh about 400 pounds. That is going to go up here, but the weight will be on all 4 of those spots, and not just sitting on a plywood floor or something, because that'll make your house just sag over the years. Or if it was just sitting on this beam and there was nothing underneath to support that weight. All right, guys, Tuesday morning, about 10:30. Supposed to be getting this beam any time now delivered, and it is gonna go the full 40 feet down that wall, but 6 feet in, right where you see those 2 pieces of framing that I put up there, so it can slip in there and kind of hold itself while we try to put the other side down at the other end. And then along with this right up there. Sorry for the focus. It'll span joists across to the beam and create that loft in that's end of the house. So 14 by 14 loft. Okay, everyone, the beam is about 3/4 of the way up. We had to rent this little lift, which has helped a lot, and we're just doing it small pieces. Got it up on the windowsill on that side, and then on top of the window on this side. So basically about 2 more feet on that side and about 5 more feet on this side. Heavy is the word of the day. You can see this is a hand lift. Do it all by hand, cranking, but it's been extremely helpful. There's no way we would have done this by ourselves. So luckily we were able to rent this, and I got it up and under, and that'll go up to where Shannon's putting the next bit of bracing for us. So once we get it up there, we brace it.
Mike, like that?
That would definitely help.
Just like there, we got it braced up here. So I created a, like kind of a holding area for that with those two 2x6s standing straight up, and then they're braced both this way and that way, and they're in there. And then we'll get this beam up about halfway. See, we're almost already to the window. We're already in the window on that side. We just got to finish the brace when we move this beam over. We're gonna put, sorry, I almost tripped. We're gonna put this beam into this up and down cavity here. That's where we want it, because that's where it goes. That's the only time then we have to go back and forth like we were doing. So we're gonna discontinue doing that, raise this beam up, and then a 2x4 will go across here and on this side, and that'll be more than enough to let it rest. And then I can take the machine and go back down to that brace down there, raise it up almost all the way, stop it with two 2x4s across, come back down, and that's how we're going to get this done. So we might not get it all done tonight, but early tomorrow morning we should be able to finish. All right, guys, the beam is up. It is the next day though, so long story, we had to go with plan B. So a lot of bracing, building yesterday, making sure it's done right, and we got it just about in place yesterday and just totally ran out of gas. So came out this morning. It is a little bit overcast and off again, on again rain, but we did have a window and we were able to finish it up without any rain, thank God. And that beam is up there, so we are on our way to return the machine. That helped a lot, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay guys, about 4:30, we're about ready to get a thunderstorm here, so we're calling it quits. But the beam is in, there it goes all the way down. We still have a bracing that I built there, but the one post is in. That'll transfer the weight of this beam down this post, which if you go into the basement, then I got another post coming right up to the floor with another brace underneath. So it just transfers it down, and then it'll be down in the basement or crawl space, sitting on a cement pad that's all rebar reinforced and everything. So that's how that takes place of that weight. Then one end is going to be, we just put three of these 2x6s together, and that's under there, and then there's two, and then a bunch of 2x4, because it just happened to run into a window that we framed. So but it'll transfer that load down the one side, the left side of that window down there, and that's all braced. And those are on concrete walls that we poured, ICF block. Then there'll be another post roughly right here where I have the pencil lines laid out right there, and we'll get that Saturday. We work the next 3 days, both of us. So, and that'll go up there. So it's supported, even though that beam is 400 pounds, you got to think of it as 4 supports, so it's 100 pounds. It'll have somewhat of a roof load on this side of it, right here, coming off. I got to build a little pony wall, and it'll come off in at about a 4 or 5/12 pitch. And then on this side, there'll be those hangers, and there'll be joists just like the first floor, and that'll create the loft right there, 14 by 14 loft up there. So morning. So we're ready to take the next step. The beam is up, so now it is just forming that second floor loft. Today's Sunday morning. We were rained out all yesterday. It was just reminded me of a spring day in Buffalo when it was just raining and raining. And as you can see, the fog, it's not supposed to rain today. It's actually supposed to be sunny, but right now it's about 8 in the morning and it's foggy. So we're just getting a later start today, and let some of this fog burn off. Hopefully it's pretty cool, maybe 50 degrees. So we're gonna get started here shortly. As you can see, we got some new sawhorses and we're gonna lay out some those 2x10 by 20s that we put on the first floor are gonna make that loft now. So, but the loft is only 14 by 14. So we're gonna lay these 2x10 by 20s on here and make our cuts and stuff before putting them in Shannon's pickup and bringing them over to the site. But we got the hangers up on one side. One of us will be doing that while the other one's cutting these boards. And then we'll put those in and see if we can get the flooring down today on that loft, and maybe even start laying out walls. We'll see though. Sometimes I get a little ambitious, but it's a nice cool day. It's only supposed to be a high of 72 today, and we got the next today, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before we have to get back to work. So hopefully we can get some stuff done this week. All right guys, it's the next morning, Monday morning. Yesterday was a learning curve again, as always, and it took us a little bit longer, but we did get everything up there. Now we're gonna get some flooring up there, and that is the loft. Sorry about the sun being in. So that'll be the loft. Okay, it's mid-afternoon. Shannon's just finishing the flooring up on the loft, and then maybe we'll start planting a wall up there. See how the day goes. It's pretty hot today. She's been in the sun all day up there. I've been her cut guy, so just feeding her wood up there, but the floor's down. She's just finishing the last screws and stuff. Okay guys, it's all high work right now. As you can see, we got one wall built. They're much smaller, thank God, up here. So, but the first thing before we put this wall up, it's gonna go right in this corner along here, is plywood for flooring comes with a tongue and a groove, and the tongue always starts at the edge here, but then you have to rip it with the saw, circular saw, all the way. So that's the first order, and then we'll put this wall up. Okay guys, morning, it's Wednesday, and today's our last day to work this week, and then we work 3 days, and we'll be back on it. But as you can see, we got that loft put up, we got the flooring in, and then 2 walls put up, and we're putting the end wall on. That'll create the roof line. It'll be triangular at the top with the rafters coming down, and that'll create the roof line all the way down between that wall, that first wall you see right here, and the beam right there. So there'll be walls coming down there and down on top of that beam, and that'll create that little bump up for the pitch of the roof. Remember, it's going to be kind of, the house is going to be the shape of the barn, kind of. So, but where that top roof is and that bottom roof, we have windows going along there. There's going to be 4 on each side. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 on each side, 8 altogether. So that top triangular roof is going to be much more pronounced. It's almost like if you were to grab it and pull it up a little, it's going to be right, like, you know, that high. So it's going to be a little bit more pronounced, but it actually will look a lot better when it's all done. And then remember, this isn't going to be the finished of this house. Next year we're going to put a front porch on this that will bring that little roof out, like, and create that shape. Right now on the back, on this side of the house here, we're going to be doing that this year because that is part of the inside of the house. You'll see more as we do it, and you'll get it, but I can tell our neighbors are like, what are they doing? Because it is kind of off center, that top part right now, but believe me, when it's all done, it should look like a monitor barn shape house. Today was more of a learning experience trying to figure out rafters for the roof. So we are still working on it, and we have some possible thunderstorms coming in, so we had to tarp off everything. And so it was more of a, we got 1 wall up right at the very outside of this wall up on the loft. So the loft is all framed in, and then we were all set to put the roof on it, and just ran into problems trying to figure out the pitch and layout of a common rafter. So we're figuring it out, and it's just one of those things that slows your way down. So I'm going to end this video here, and hopefully the next video will all be roofing, and we are going to move slowly down that way with the walls and the roof. So we just work incrementally down there. So that's what our plan is. All right, see you in the next video.